Welcome back to another episode of the My Perspective Podcast. I'm your host, Ron B. Matter of fact, no free promotions. I'm your host, Ron B. Today's episode, we're going to get into sports free agency and everything that's going on in the NBA right now. Yes, for the people who don't know, I am a Lakers fan. And free agency started yesterday, I believe, I could be wrong, around like 6:00. Free agency kind of opened up. And I do love so far what the Lakers did. I love how we were able to re-sign Rui Hachimura. I love how we were able to re-sign Austin Reeves. Those were the two key components in our playoff run. I like how, even though I'm kind of iffy on D'Lo, even though he didn't play too well in the Western Conference Finals, it's good that we were able to re-sign D'Lo. I do like the pickup of Gabe Vincent, which was a really, really, really good pickup. Kind of a substitution because I think we let go of both Troy Brown and Malik Beasley. I don't think we picked up them again. Even though, because they didn't really play too much in the playoffs. I like that. It's an extra shooter. Somebody who was an integral part into the Miami Heat and their run in the to the NBA Finals for this past season. I do like the pickup of Jackson Hayes. Another, big body length, somebody who can rim run, grab rebounds, which is really, really good. Cam Reddish. I like it, but I'm not quite sold on it just because I'm not the biggest Cam Reddish fan. Now, I'm iffy about it. I have to see how it'll work out. It's just that Cam Reddish is just always hurt, so it's like, I don't know. But overall, if I can give the Lakers a grade for the free agency so far, I would probably give us a solid B. Inching towards a B plus, but I give us like a solid B. I think we did really, really good so far in the free agency. And with the Austin Reeves deal, we were able to kind of get him at a cheap rate. Same thing with Rui. I think we signed Austin Reeves to $56 million over 2 years. I have to double check that. I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get Brook Lopez. I think Brook Lopez would have been a very, very, very good piece for us to pick up. Being that it would have allowed AD to play the 4, which is what he always plays. So Brook would have given us, if we were able to pick him up, a nice big who can stretch the floor, create more room for AD to kind of operate in the low post. He's more of a finesse player. And Brook Lopez being the lockdown defender that he was or has been over the past few years, especially in the paint, being one of the better rim protectors in the league. I would have liked that a lot for us if we were able to pick him up. But fortunately, the Bucks were able to re-sign him. So, we take what we can get so far. Another thing that I've been hearing so far in free agency, that James Harden. I like Harden in Philly a lot. I've heard the teams that he's been looking to go to. I'm telling you this, James Harden. Do not go to Los Angeles. You are literally asking, bro, to like a same situation that you had in Brooklyn. Like where your two players that you came there for aren't playing. Like literally, if you go to Los Angeles, you're going to end up in the same situation that you ended up in when you first requested the trade to go to Brooklyn. Kawhi Leonard doesn't play. He's always hurt, which is it's nothing he can control, but this is the reality of the situation. Kawhi Leonard always hurt. Paul George always hurt. So it's like you're just asking to be in a situation. Granted, the reports were that he wasn't too happy with the role in Philly because I think he wasn't kind of too fond of playing second fiddle, being that he feels like he has more left in the tank, even though he's just never been good with conditioning his body. He's kind of been hurt as of recent. So, but he complained that he didn't like how Doc Rivers was using him in the offense, kind of turning him into a more traditional point guard. Don't please, I pray to God he doesn't want to actually go to Los Angeles and actually isn't considering going to the Clippers, because it's just going to be hectic. Like, you're most likely when you go there, you're probably going to be the third option, if you ask me. People may think he's going to be the second option. I think he's going to be the third option, right behind Leonard and PG. So, I mean, I don't know. Another one, Dame finally requested a trade out of Portland. I think one of his teams that he was looking to go to was the Miami Heat. I'm letting you know that the Miami Heat are not giving up Bam under any circumstance. So I think one of the trade packages that I seen was Hero, Duncan Robinson, and a couple of picks. So I mean, it's a good trade for me. Well, it depends. Because how the Portland Trailblazers are, their future, they're looking at Scoot, who they just drafted, Sharp, and Simons. That's like their future. Maybe they get rid of Simons. I don't know how Portland is planning on doing it. Even I feel like they're probably one of the worst run franchises in the entire NBA. So far their future is Simon, Sharp, and Scoot. Like, Dame, it's been over. We're going into like year 12 with Dame. Like, there's nothing more that Portland's going to do for you, bro. So I'm finally glad they came to a consensus and actually requested a trade. And it's like, these NBA players, bro, they always tell you, because I feel like Dame always talks out both sides of his mouth. It's like, yeah, we don't care. I don't care about, I'm not going to team up with no super teams. We're going to do things the hard way. But it's like, also, I'm not here for a rebuild. It's like, I want to win, but I'm not here for a rebuild. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he was always talking on both sides of his mouth, but he finally requested a trade. Do I like the trade for Portland? You'll get back Hero, who's a 20-point per game scorer. You'll get back Duncan Robinson, who hasn't really played too much in the last year. I mean, he played some of the finals. In the time that the minutes that he did get, he was solid. It's another shooter. Very, very, very good shooter. And Duncan Robinson, I think a lot of people kind of sleep on him. He's more athletic than you think. So they get back a solid shooter. And then the picks. My only thing is like, what do you do with Hero? How are you gonna run it? Are you gonna put Scoot and Simons in the backcourt once you kind of get rid of Dame? I don't know. I don't know. Portland is just, they're like, and then you sign Jeremy Grant to like a max contract. You gave him $35 million a year. Now, don't get me wrong. Jeremy Grant is a great, great, great player. Nice 20-point per game scorer, good defense. But it's like, I think you kind of overpay for him and for the length of the contract too. I think it's a 4 or 5 year, 100. Like I said, I think it's 150 that they gave him over the 5 years. And shout out to Rich Paul getting these players paid. He got Grant paid. He got Fred VanVleet paid, and oh my God, I forgot who the last one was, but shout out to Rich Paul for getting those guys paid. Houston, with the signing of Fred VanVleet. I don't know, Houston. It's like, I like the direction that they're going with the young core that they have with Green, Jabari, Sengun. I think that's a core that can really make some noise eventually if they add a couple more pieces. I think they need more veterans in there. I would have been interested to see Chris Middleton with that lineup. But unfortunately, he resigned with the Milwaukee Bucks. Um, it's like I don't know if Fred Van Fleet is worth all that. Like you gave him max money, bro. It's like I don't know. Is he in the upper echelons of point guards in the league? No. I think he's like a middle of the pack type of point guard. I think he falls under like he's like in the tier point guards of like the Rozier, Brogdon type guards to me, in my opinion. Um, I don't know. I know I keep saying that, but it's NBA free agency is always one of those things where it's like it's interesting. It's interesting because you kind of get to see the direction in what each team is trying to go into. We do have teams, these young teams, like I said before, with Houston, who I think they have a very, very nice core. Even though Jalen Green, his game is, I'm not a, I like it, but I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it, if that kind of makes sense. Um, but I do like I said before, I love the core that they're building there. I think they have a very, very bright future. Um, one of my favorite teams, young guys who I think it's kind of gonna set the trend for what the NBA is probably gonna look like pretty soon. The Orlando Magic. I like the Orlando Magic. I do. I like that core with Banchero. I like Bol Bol. I like that young core, especially with Fultz kind of coming into his own, being that he kind of suffered with injuries for the better part of his first half of his career. He's really become a solid guard in the league. I do like that. I like what they're building that there in Atlanta. I think they're like a couple, maybe like a year or two away, and adding maybe like a couple more pieces. And with Wagner, uh, bro, that I like that team. I like it a lot. Banchero, that I like Banchero. Like Banchero. I do. I like him a lot. Like him a lot. Also going back to Houston, the during the NBA draft, which I was so upset with my Lakers and not taking him, Cam Whitmore. Now I get it. They were saying that he didn't do too well in the meetings and wasn't during the work, but I think he's one of those players that if he's there, you take him. The Lakers, you took Jalen Hood-Schifino, which I'm not mad at the pick. But I feel like it was just like, damn, we could have got Cam. We could have got Cam. Definitely could have got Cam. Bruce Brown, left Denver, which I think is huge for them actually. He was very, very integral, a very big part of them and their finals run and actually winning the championship. So that was a huge loss for Denver, if you ask me. Got his ring, got his money in Indiana, which I think he could have got a longer deal, if you ask me. But I mean, it is what it is. NBA free agency. I think we're in day 2. So far, we're just kind of waiting on more moves. I'm kind of waiting to see, the Harden move. I'm waiting to see what Dame does, because I think that's going to be very interesting in the team that he selects, or hopefully Portland decides to do right by Dame, even though I don't think he has a no trade clause, but hopefully they decide to do right by him, given that he gave him 12 years of service. Maybe they'll give him the team that he is most likely wanting to go to. And like I said, it'll be pretty interesting to see how things work out for both sides. NBA free agency, man, it's it's always a doozy, you know. It's always I think it's better than the I'm not gonna go that far and say it's better than the NFL offseason, but NBA offseason is always great because that's when you get to see these narratives and everything that ESPN and Fox would like to push. Um, I'm just excited to see everything after, once free agency is done and you get to see who goes where. I'm excited to see Victor Wembanyama. Um, some people are setting these expectations on this person. I mean, this young man. It's like, dude, I get it. He's a generational talent. He's seven. I think they measured him 7'5" or I still 7'3" without shoes on, but 7'5" with shoes. So, somebody who has guard like skills at that height. They're saying that if he's not a top three player to ever play the game, then his career's a bust. I'm not going that far. I'm never gonna push those kind of fucking stupid narratives. And that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody. A lot of pressure to say if he's not one of the three greatest players to ever play the game, then his career is a failure. I heard somebody say the other day that I think it was Chris Broussard is like, even if he's like Hakeem Olajuwon, like his career is a bust. How? Like, and I think Hakeem Olajuwon is like the fourth greatest player to ever touch a basketball. Probably the greatest, not probably. I think he's the greatest defender in my opinion. Top four, top five to ever do it. I don't understand. I don't know. So yeah, I'm excited to see how Wemby plays. Being that he's another foreign player, in the pop system. Just kind of excited to see how everything is going. Also excited for Summer League. I'm liking the new CBA and the requirements that they're actually putting in for these people to play games, bro. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm so sick and tired of people getting on the All NBA team and it's like they're playing like 30 games or like 45 games and making the fucking All NBA team. Like, I had to watch Julius Randle make an All NBA team. Julius fucking Randle I had to watch making an All NBA team. Sorry. I just was thinking about Julius Randle making an All NBA team, bro. So I think the requirement is 65 games. So even with that, with the All NBA teams now, you're going to see a lot of these guys play more because why these All NBA teams they start to affect your money. And for those of you who don't know, if there's like certain clauses that if a player is able to make an All NBA team, then he's able to get a super max, not just a max contract, but a super max contract. I think that's what Jaylen Brown is headed to get. Hopefully the Celtics don't be dumb and try to trade him away. Please don't. Speaking of the Celtics, I like the pickup of Porzingis. A nice 20-10 guy, one of the better elite rim protectors in the league. Gives you another body and that rotation of the bigs. Even though I think Robert Williams, he's always injured, but it gives you another body. Now I believe down the line that they're probably going to trade Robert Williams eventually because the money that you had, you end up paying Porzingis, and I think Robert Williams might end up costing them more than what he's worth. And what I mean when I say that is that his value is probably going to reach a point to where the Celtics aren't going to be able to maybe pay him. And they're going to have to be a force to trade him eventually down the line. Like I said, he's always injured too. So like I said, I do like that pickup. The Warriors also were able to re-sign Draymond. I think the Warriors, what they just did with that one, bro, is that they were just trying to make up for that Jordan Poole debacle. Because Lord have fucking mercy. Me, I've never been the biggest Poole fan. I think he's a player who lacks IQ. His shot his shot selection was always poor. He was just a black hole on offense anytime he came into the game. Like people are gonna be like, well, he averaged like 20 something a game when Curry was out and five assists. Was like, yeah, when you have the ball 90% of the time, like you're probably gonna get assists. And it was just like he just didn't fit the offense to me. He kind of took away from Draymond, was who is the ball handler on that team. I just feel like Jordan Poole is just I don't like it. I don't like his game. I've never been a fan of it. Now he's in Washington with the backcourt with him and Tyus Jones. I'm letting you know that backcourt is getting beat every time on defense. Sorry. But I think signing Draymond, I think they gave him 4 years, 100 mil. They were just trying to make up for that Jordan Poole debacle. Bradley Beal to the Suns. I think people are overrating this move, in my opinion. People are calling this championship or bust. To me, I think that the trade was kind of pointless because you just got back. Literally, he plays so similar to both Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. He's a pull-up jump shooter, a lot of middies, not really too much attacking the basket. Like the defense is they're just gonna give up a lot of points because now how Phoenix is looking, I know they signed a couple of players in free agency, like a couple role players, but bro, they have no bench. Their bench is like depleted. You literally emptied out your entire bench for the KD trade and also with this trade for Bradley Beal. You just said fuck it. Literally went into fuck it mode. So I have no faith, honestly, in the Phoenix Suns. I think they're probably a second round team at best. They're gonna have moments. I definitely believe they're gonna have moments. They're gonna have stretches where people look at them and they're gonna be very impressive. I think they're gonna create a lot of highlights just between the three of them, between KD, Booker, and Beal. They're gonna be good for aesthetic purposes. But outside of that, I'm just not loving the Phoenix Suns. And I think any team who decides to do any deal with the Suns is stupid. Because why would you help the Suns on any form or capacity? I don't understand that. I know a lot of people are trying to get DeAndre Ayton. Because now, since you got Bill, Booker, and KD, he's literally going to be the fourth option. And you saw how already, you saw it. If you didn't watch that, bro, DeAndre Ayton, if he's not involved in the offense, bro, he's so disengaged. He's just not like there. Like he doesn't want to be there. You can tell by the body language. He doesn't want to be there if he's not involved in the offense. And with any big man, you kind of have to get them involved in the offense. And when you get the big man involved in the offense, that's when you kind of see them play a little harder. And there's only one basketball, bro. Only one basketball. So whoever decides to, and Phoenix saying that they're not giving up DeAndre Ayton, but I think there's probably going to be a team out there who decides to take the chance and trading for DeAndre Ayton and helping the Phoenix Suns out. It's going to be some team. It's going to be a team. NBA free agency, man. NBA free agency. What a fucking doozy. So like I said before, I'm just looking forward to seeing the next couple of days and how it's gonna go for who's gonna go where. Looking to see the moves and everything and how it's gonna come together for the final rosters, past training camp and summer league and all that other stuff going into the season. So far, if I were to grade the teams on their moves for free agency, the teams that I talked about, I would give the Lakers, like I said, a B plus. I would give the Celtics for the pickup of Porzingis. I would give them. I Even though I don't like them trading away Marcus Smart, which is kind of sad. I'd give them a B minus, leaning towards the B range. I think that Porzingis pickup was a very, very good pickup. To Phoenix Suns, but I'm giving that trade like a C plus. It just doesn't move the needle for me at all. So I'm giving them a C plus. I'm giving the Wizards. I'm gonna skip the Wizards. I'm giving the Warriors on re-signing Dre. And you got Chris Paul too. I don't know how they're gonna work with Chris Paul because they're talking about starting Chris Paul. I'm giving them a C. They didn't really move me. Not at all. They didn't move me at all. Not at all. But like I said, I'm excited to see what's going on later on down the road for the next few days in free agency, how it's going to take place. And we'll go from there. Shout out to the Lakers. Shout out to the Lakers, bro. Rob Pelinka. Even though I used to get on you for the fuck ups that you used to do, I like what you've been doing so far. I like what you've been doing since the trade deadline of last season, acquiring Rui. Matter of fact, I've been liking Rob since January of last year. Well, January of this year, excuse me. Acquiring Rui for Kendrick Nunn and the second round pick, getting Vanderbilt and Troy Brown and D'Lo. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. But that concludes another episode of the My Perspective podcast. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment. New episodes drop every Sunday at 7. Don't forget to watch. Actually, no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm in a good mood, so I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say it. I'm in a very, very good mood because I like my Lakers. What they did, I do like it. But like I said, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I appreciate all the support that I get and have been getting so far on the podcast. You guys have been amazing. And I'm ready to keep going. Put out more content for you guys. Like I said, new episodes drop every Sunday. And that concludes today's episode.